At a strict Christian camp, two girls bond through secret notes, hoping to not get caught. Will they stay silent or risk everything to tell the truth? No name. Just a single line written in looping, slanted ink. Do you ever feel like you're acting in someone else's play? My heartbeat stuttered. I glanced around. No one seemed to notice. Jo was 2 rows ahead, her head bowed, her hands clasped neatly over her Bible. She didn't look back. That night I couldn't sleep. My bunk creaked every time I turned. Kayla whispered prayers from the bed above me, like she was talking in her sleep. I clutched the note in my palm until it crumpled soft, my thumb tracing the ink. Was it for me? Was it random? Was it a test? By morning, I'd nearly convinced myself it wasn't real, that I'd imagined the whole thing, until the next Bible study. This time, the note was folded into a triangle and tucked between Romans, and then when today they said, obedience is freedom. What do you think? Name again, just careful penmanship, sharp-pointed letters. I didn't answer right away. I didn't know how, but I started watching her more closely. Jo didn't sit with anyone at meals. She drew in the margins of her workbook during devotionals. Her eyes flicked toward me sometimes, just briefly, like a match being struck, but she never smiled. A few days later, I slipped a reply beneath the lid of a communal donation jar near the chapel door, tucked under a fake prayer request card. I wrote, "Freedom shouldn't feel like drowning," and that was how it started, our secret correspondence. We passed notes like prisoners in hymnals under paper plates behind mirror frames. She drew me silly comics, stick figures climbing out of Bibles, whispering curses. I sent her quotes from books I wasn't allowed to bring. She made up games where we'd rewrite verses to be honest instead of holy. Sometimes I'd find a flower pressed in a folded napkin or a page torn from a novel I'd never read. Each message was a breath, a heartbeat, a piece of something I hadn't realized I was starving for. I started walking slower between cabins, hoping to catch a glimpse of her. I started praying less. But the camp was always watching, and Jo never let her face show anything. Even when I left a note saying, I wish we could talk out loud, she only replied, and they listen harder when you're quiet. The next Sunday during the testimony fire pit, someone read a confession about impure thoughts. Vague, shaky voice. They didn't name names, but everyone turned their heads. The counselors reminded us that secrets rot the soul, that honesty, even painful honesty, was the only path to salvation. That night, a new sign went up in the dining hall. God sees what man cannot. Jo didn't come to breakfast the next morning. I panicked quietly. No one else seemed to notice she was gone, not even Counselor Deb. But after chapel, when I sat in my usual pew, I found another note beneath my seat. It was shorter than usual, just 2 lines. They took my last one. I'm being careful. I read it. I read it 3 times, the pit in my stomach growing colder with each pass. They took her note. That meant someone found it. That meant someone knew. That meant we were being watched. And that was when I realized what we were doing, what we had, wasn't just forbidden, it was dangerous. Follow for the next part. Comment what stories you want to hear next. Subscribe to FryyDaee on YouTube for the full videos. Thanks for watching.